This is Kruger National Park in South Africa, home to some of the biggest, fastest and deadliest animals on the planet. CBBC have brought 4 British and 4 South African children to spend a month here training to be rookie game rangers.
Incredible.
Leading them on this amazing adventure will be their mentors, Trails Ranger Rudy.
It's taken me years to learn to be a ranger. They've only got 1 month to do it.
And Guide Frankie.
In the African bush, danger can be around any corner. So the Safari 8 needs to be alert and have to be ready at any time.
8 kids, 2 mentors and 1 massive challenge. To lead 2 celebrity guests on a safari experience of a lifetime. Last time on Safari 8, the team got suited and booted.
And it all has our names on it. How cool is that? Look, my hat has it too.
Ranger training began and lesson number 1 was identifying number 2s.
Guys, what animal?
Elephant.
And for some, a ranger initiation was more than a mouthful.
Put it in your mouth and...
I'm not putting any poo in my mouth.
Today, the team tracked down one of Africa's most dangerous inhabitants.
I thought the buffalo was just like a cow with horns. I never knew it was like really scary or anything.
Get involved in some seriously dirty work.
Just push it in there.
I'm gonna be sick.
And a bush emergency leads to
Every
tragedy.
single one of us was really sad and hurt by it because it's such an amazing animal.
It's early morning in Kruger, and with just 4 days ranger training under their belts, mentors Rudy and Frankie are taking the rookies to the riverbed for a serious lesson. In their first week of training, the Safari 8 have learnt to be on the lookout for dangerous wildlife at all times. Wild animals can be unpredictable and they may charge or attack if they feel threatened. If that happens, a ranger has to act quickly to save lives.
One of the most vital things that you must remember at all times in the bush. You can't outrun an animal. Lions travel at 85 kilometers an hour, which is about 60 miles an hour. Kids your age, 15 miles an hour. So that lion will be on top of you before you can blink.
And if lives are in danger, a ranger will have to make the hard decision to shoot a wild animal.
But one chance to save your life and those of your clients. So what you do is you wait for the animal to be right in front of you, and that's usually when you pull the trigger.
So the Safari 8 can see how quick a ranger's reactions need to be, Rudy and Frankie have rigged up a demonstration. With the team a safe distance away, Rudy shows how rangers practice to make sure their reactions are fast enough to save lives. The Safari 8 will hopefully never face this situation, but being prepared is all part of their training.
Lions are obviously a dangerous animal. It's one of the big 5 dangerous animals that we have to look out for in the bush. But it's not nearly as dangerous as a buffalo. There's been more deaths by buffalo than there is by lion.
It definitely does make you change the way you look at buffalo, because now that you know they're as aggressive as a lion, it really makes you think, okay, those are dangerous animals and you have to be careful of them.
If a buffalo decides he's going to come with speed, he's not going to stop. This is the worst case scenario. It's not that it's going to happen to us, but we need to prepare you for that. So if it happens, that you guys know what to do.
Until even now, I thought the buffalo was just like a cow with horns. I never knew it was like really scary or anything, but now I'm like quite scared.
The Safari 8 are training in a wild environment, but they're in safe hands, because both Rudy and Frankie deal with ferocious and deadly animals every day. With 15 years ranger experience between them, they've seen it all, from rhinos with attitude to cranky crocodiles. Helping to look after the welfare of all the park's inhabitants, no matter how big or small, is a key part of their job. And if the Safari 8 want to make it as rangers, they're going to have to take the bull by the horns, quite literally.
Now the serious work starts. Tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock, you need to get up and be ready at 4:15. We are going to go and assist the wildlife vets on a buffalo capture.
Oh my gosh.
The Safari 8 will spend the day with the Kruger vets, who'll be examining wild buffalo as part of an ongoing research study.
I'm just really pumped up about going on a buffalo catch-up. It's going to be a brand new experience. Like, you don't go out every day to catch a buffalo and stuff.
Buffaloes can weigh as much as a small car and have deadly horns, so how do the vets get close enough to study them?
Immobilizing buffalo use a dart gun containing a dart with a sedative that puts the animal into a deep sleep so that you can perform certain tests on it, causing no stress to the animal.
Unfortunately for the Safari 8, they won't be doing any darting because that requires specialist training.
But to give the team an idea of the skills needed, Rudy and Frankie set them a challenge to test their focus and concentration. And first to step up to the mark is Manya.
Go for it. Oh, also a blue one. Good shot. Get your mark.
Can Kushal get any closer?
Blue one.
Oh, brilliant.
Excellent. Let's see if Thomas can hit the red dot.
See what Wells can do.
I thought that he was gonna push you back,
Get the red dot on the red dot.
just releases the dart.
Thomas's concentration is rewarded with a bullseye. Ashley eyes up the target.
Just not trying to get it.
Put it in a red dot and just pull the trigger.
I was just thinking probably get completely off. But I didn't, I was so good.
Okay.
Next up, Safiso.
Oh, just outside. Good shot.
And last up is Caroline. And it seems that the buffalo capture is starting to play on her mind.
I didn't realise how dangerous they were, and I know nothing will go wrong, but there's always the chance, and I mean, I'd rather it be lions than buffalo.
Coming up, the team come face to face with 3 of the big 5.
It's absolutely amazing. They're coming closer.
An injured rhino leads to a heartbreaking decision. And it's girls versus boys in the team challenge. Next morning, and it's 4 AM at the treehouse. Time to go and find some buffalo.
I'm really excited about seeing the buffalo, but I'm not good in the morning, so it'll be tough, but I'll try my hardest.
I'm so excited to see real buffalo today.
I know, so am I. It's gonna be so cool.
Apparently there's always lions near them, so I'm hoping there will be lions.
It's still dark outside, but the buffalo capture thing is just making me very excited.
With a long drive ahead and a very hot day forecast, there's no time to waste.
Morning, kids.
Morning!
And the Safari 8 are not the only ones having an early start. With most of the animals in the park on the hunt for some breakfast, it's a great time to spot wildlife.
Rhino.
Such a cool rhino.
Is that a white rhino?
Yeah.
That's my favorite animal.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, that is big! Wow!
Waiting to meet the Safari 8 is Kruger vet Dr. Peter and his team. Our rookie rangers will be assisting them today to learn the important role rangers have to play during an animal capture.
When we go and do captures and we go into the field, usually it's a very, very small veterinary team. So we need help, one in just securing the animal once it's been darted, and then often they help us with getting the necessary samples and stuff that we need while we're doing the work. The other really important thing that they'll do for us is they'll actually protect us from the animals that are out there in the field. So they'll patrol on the perimeter with their rifles and just make sure that nothing comes in like the other buffalo in the herd or predators, that sort of thing.
The vets in the park don't just look after sick and injured animals, they also carry out research.
But the problem here in Kruger is that we have TB in our buffalo population, where roughly 40 to 50% of the buffalo actually now have the disease.
What is tuberculosis?
Tuberculosis is actually a bacterial disease. Bacteria gets into their lungs, and once it's in there, it starts to grow and causes the disease.
The Safari 8 are going to help test the buffaloes today, and one member of the team is going to be taking the lead on this task.
We're going to give the first opportunity to show his leadership skills to Manya. There's only one space in the darting vehicle.
I'm really happy that I've been chosen to go in the darting vehicle. I think it's going to be an absolutely extraordinary experience, being so close to all the action that's happening, and I'm really, really happy about it.
And 13-year-old Manya is certainly not one to shy away from the challenge.
Well, the animals that I have, I've got a parrot. His name's Alex.
Who Manya's teaching to sing opera.
And then I've got Jesse. He's my dog, and he's a little whippet.
Who Manya's teaching agility.
Next one. And then I've got my horse. His name's Dennis.
who Manya's teaching to show jump,
I started riding properly when I was about 6. The partnership that you have to build between you and the horse is really great and something that I really love doing.
and if that wasn't enough to keep him busy,
There's 2 babies in here, they're really young and they should grow up and then form part of the aviary.
Manya is incredibly enthusiastic, has a keen interest and excitement in most things.
I would say sporty.
I'd like to be a professional cricketer, I'd like to go that far and play hopefully on the international level. Training as a game ranger will have its challenges, but it's stuff that you got to work with and it's a great thing to do and it's a great thing to try and achieve.
There's a lot happening there, and his relationship with animals is going to be fantastic to see what the bush does.
I'd really like to see a buffalo. I'd like to see how big and how dangerous they can actually be and how territorial they are. I would be a bit nervous, but it would be quite a great experience.
and he doesn't have long to wait. With Manya leading from the darting truck, the rest of the team follows with Rudy and Frankie. Today, Dr. Peter will be darting 2 buffaloes from a herd he's been monitoring recently. But with over 27,000 buffalo in Kruger, finding the right herd can sometimes prove tricky. To help locate them, the vets have fitted some of the buffalo with radio collars that send out a signal.
This point shows you your direction.
Yeah.
So you hold it in different directions and then see which one's the strongest.
Okay. She's maybe got a trace of where they are, like slightly, so she's just standing a bit high to see if she can get another sound and see where they are and hopefully find them.
As they head off to find the buffalo, they spot its main predator.
Almost like on the horizon, look through the trees on the back there.
Lion.
Almost the whole herd, you see them moving to the left there.
Oh wow! It's absolutely amazing. They're coming closer. It's really cool to be able to see them for the first time on this trip. Much bigger than we expected them to be. There's a male at the back then and there's a few females in the front. So it's really, really cool to be able to experience them so close and for real this time, not just on the TV.
The team are amazed to see the pride of lions. But it's another member of the Big Five the Safari 8 are after. And with the day hotting up, so does their search.
So are the buffalo going to be in this kind of terrain?
There they are. There's the buffalo.
Oh wow,
1 o'clock.
they're massive.
With the 500-strong herd now located, the vets look for a female buffalo to dart and sedate.
She's directly right, Rob, at 3 o'clock. With all wildlife, in a natural situation, won't let you anywhere near them. So the only way we can get hold of them is to dart them and immobilize them.
Dr. Peter will dart the buffalo with a sedative, which will send it into a deep sleep. This is the only possible way to examine wild animals.
You see this one that's looking at us? What about this one?
Once the dart is in, the tranquilizer takes a few minutes to take effect.
What's basically happening out there, you can see the dart just went in, causes the buffalo to go into a deep sleep, so we can approach it, we can work on it without him actually being aware of us.
So the vets keep a watchful eye.
Here she goes.
There she's going to the right, eh? Can you see her there? Okay, she's gone down.
I'm really excited. It's so cool to be so close, but I'm a bit nervous about if we can actually get out of the car to go look at her with all the herd around us. I don't know what's going to happen.
The vets move in to check the animal is fully sedated before anyone gets out the vehicles. With the buffalo down, the rest of the herd move on. The vets blindfold the buffalo to help keep her calm. It's now safe for the Safari 8 to come and help. The most important job during the research is to monitor the buffalo's breathing, and this is down to Caroline.
Fingering in the nose, like that.
I'll just put it under.
No, you can stick it in. It's fine. See, like that.
Just make sure she breathes all the time. Okay, the sedative that we use in darts slows the heart rate down, and you have to monitor them to keep them safe.
While Caroline keeps an eye on the buffalo's breathing, the other half of the team keep an eye out for wild animals.
Look down just above the tree, just below the tree line.
Rangers need to keep the team working with the animals safe, so Frankie takes the rookie rangers out on patrol.
Safety, as you know, in the bush is the most important aspect. Not just the safety of yourself, but also for the crew and the animal. It's quite common for buffaloes to come back after it was darted. So basically what we're doing is the buffaloes is probably about 50, 100 meters just behind that tree line there. And all we're doing is now just to make sure that they don't come back.
With time ticking, the team needs to be hands-on to check over the health of the buffalo. And the first test they need to do is find out if the buffalo is pregnant. And there's only one way to discover
Is that
that.
how far I'm going in?
No. It's just so you don't get poo all up your arm. Okay, just there.
Ella will have to feel inside the buffalo to see if there's a calf.
You can push quite hard.
It's all warm.
Push hard.
I'm sick. Oh my God, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick. Putting my hand up her bum, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was quite warm, so that was okay.
So what do you feel in there?
Nothing much. It's sort of tight on my hand.
Yes, it's quite tight. It's nice and
There's
warm.
pressure. I can't, it's just like soft, gooey stuff.
Gooey stuff, yes, exactly. Just feel down on the bottom and to the right slightly. You might be able to feel two things. Just keep your fingers together.
Are they a bit hard?
Yes, two little hard knobby things. That's your uterus.
It was really horrible because poo all up this big glove.
You didn't hurt her.
It wasn't so bad.
No, it's fine.
It was empty. She's not pregnant. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Next is the TB health check. The buffalo is dewormed with a large pill called a bolus. This helps build up their naturally weak immune system. And last is the radio collar.
Will it hurt her?
No, not at all. It's just like having a necklace around your neck.
Putting the collar on the buffalo was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. The buffalo was moving a lot. I was really scared I was going to wake up because every 10 seconds it would go and then down again.
The health check is over.
Okay, Caroline, is my buffalo still alive?
Affirmative.
She's still breathing?
Yeah, but we need to wake her up soon.
Yeah, I think we do too.
Back home in Scotland, 13-year-old Caroline is more used to the cute and fluffy.
I have a cat and a hamster. My cat's called Max and we got him about 2 years ago now. Our hamster, we called him Theodore off of a movie. I have two brothers, one's called Andrew and he's my twin, and one called Grant and he's my little brother. Being a twin, it's brought me up to like who I am today because I've learned to share and I've learned to cooperate more easily.
Being Caroline's twin, it certainly puts a kick into life.
They've even got a secret handshake.
So this is my room. This here is my Java lava lamp. And it's probably the thing I love most in my whole entire room. And these here are my mirrors, which I use a lot to pose and look cool and stuff in them.
She may be into pink, but don't let that fool you.
I like Scouts because it's more the type of thing I'm into, more adventurous.
Tents, no problem.
Well, I actually quite like camping because it's nice to get outdoors. I like putting up tents, making fires.
Sleeping in a tent for Caroline will be one of the easier things. It's something she's done quite a lot of.
I would really, really like to see an elephant. You don't really get that many big animals in Scotland. Boys tend to think that they're better than girls in a lot of things, but I've proved them wrong.
Back on the capture, and the team have started the TB health check on the second buffalo.
The pregnancy diagnosis.
While Thomas takes the plunge,
Oh, it's warm.
Yeah, warm and mushy.
Yeah.
it's off on patrol for Manya, Ella, Caroline and Ashley.
You can see the buffalo are quite inquisitive. They would look up, they would watch us all the time, making sure that we're not coming closer.
Would there be lions in this area?
Yeah, definitely, because lions often follow buffalo herds because they can always pick up the weak ones and the sick ones at the back. So you very often get that lions would associate themselves around the area, close to a buffalo herd, and even follow them.
As part of their research, the vets need to record how old the buffalo is, and Sofiso is learning how you find out.
This is baby teeth.
Yeah.
And this is a new teeth, a big teeth coming out.
Yeah.
And then we just measure the first incisor, and then it's about between 3.5 4 years.
Next, Kushal steps in to help out with the tissue samples for DNA testing.
This won't hurt her.
No, it's fine.
All that's left is to photograph the animal for identification. Health check complete, the buffalo is given an injection to wake it up. The Safari 8 have retreated to the safety of the game viewer, as buffaloes aren't known for their friendly nature. This one's likely to be rather grumpy as she wakes up.
Can't find her herd. It's that way.
And just as they've finished the research, Dr. Peter gets called to an emergency.
The reason the helicopter is here is that they found a rhino that's got a snare on it. They've just located it, so we're going to go and immobilise the animal, take the snare off, treat the wounds, and then hopefully it'll be fine.
There's no time to waste. For the rhino to have any chance of survival, Dr. Peter must get there as quickly as possible. The injured white rhino was spotted while rangers were actually doing their yearly count of black rhino in the park. With only about 350 black rhinos in Kruger, this critically endangered animal is closely monitored by the park rangers. While Dr. Peter rushes to the aid of the rhino, the Safari 8 follows on the ground.
We were all excited to see the rhino because they told us that it had a snare on its foot. So when we were racing the helicopter to go see it, it was really cool.
Before the Safari 8 arrive, the rhino is tranquilised to keep it calm. The rangers quickly realise it's not a poacher's snare that's caused the problem.
Rudy, why is he shaking?
Dr. Peter injects the rhino with some medicine to stop it feeling any pain.
When we actually got there and saw it shaking and moving, it was quite sad, but it was under anaesthetic, so it wasn't really feeling anything.
Dr. Peter and the vets can see that there's something seriously wrong.
It's grating, but I'm not exactly sure where it is.
When we got there, we found that in fact it wasn't a snare, that it looked like the animal had in fact broken its leg. It was a big bull rhino. So we darted it, went and had a look at it and confirmed that in fact his right leg was broken.
Did the poachers try to kill it?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just an accident.
What happened to it?
They might have walked into a deep hole or something else hit him on the side. It's an unfortunate situation because the rhino's scapula or shoulder blade bone broke. So it's probably either from a fight or he stepped into a hole and actually fell onto his shoulder. But we can't leave this animal to suffer like this.
So the vets have a hard decision to make.
There's no way an animal of that size can survive in this environment. So we thought the kindest thing then was rather to put it to sleep. So that's what we did.
For the Safari 8, this is devastating news.
Every single one of us was really sad and hurt by it because it's such an amazing animal. Some of the people were, like Ella, really took it. She really didn't like it and she was crying and she really had a hard time.
With just enough time for a final goodbye, they leave the vets to end its suffering.
As a guide or a ranger, there's a lot of things that we do that's fun. But then there's also the harsh reality of an animal suffering what just happened. You can't let the animal just lie in the bush and suffer.
Basically, the rhino that we saw now that's being put to sleep, we didn't want to do that. The problem with rhinos is they need to feed. They need to eat a lot. And for him to be able to feed, he needs to walk around. And you can't keep a rhino immobile, let it lie down for 6 months so that the bone will heal, because that's probably how long it's going to take for it to heal. And it's impossible to do that.
Ella, I know this was very hard for you. Are you all right?
Yeah.
And you understand why they did what they did today?
I was really surprised at how upset I got. I didn't think that I would because you don't really know the rhino and you've just seen it and it has to be put down because I wanted to try my best to help them to keep it alive. But I don't think I understood how much pain it was and how much they needed to put it down.
The Safari 8 are beginning to learn just how tough a ranger's job can be. Every task the team are given over the month will help them achieve their ultimate goal of becoming rookie game rangers and leading guests on a 2-day safari experience to track the Big Five for their final challenge. Before ranger training finishes for the day, Rudy and Frankie have got a challenge to lift the team's spirits. And this time it's the girls versus the boys.
Right guys, today's challenge is to test your senses, okay? How to approach game quietly.
The aim is to get as close to Rudy and Frankie without making a sound. This is to help the team to learn to walk quietly when out tracking animals in the bush.
You're going to approach me as if I'm an animal. So basically you're going to come from a distance away, and if I hear you, I'll point to you. The one that's closest to me wins.
All right, guys, shall we get going with this?
The winners will all get a postcard each to send home, while the losers have 2 pairs of very dirty boots to polish. Blindfolded, Rudy will only have his hearing to spot the approaching rookie rangers. The slightest sound will give the game away.
Your time has started now.
First up, it's the girls. And Caroline tiptoes straight out of the game. Noma's sure-footing doesn't get her much further. And the smallest member of Safari 8 is out next, leaving Ashley to sneak into the lead. With all the girls caught out, Frankie puts on the blindfold to see if the boys can get any closer.
Your time starts now.
And it doesn't take long before Kushal's size 11s give him away. Safiso's next to creep out of the game, and Thomas's stride leaves him no place to hide. Manya steps up the pace, but will his sly tactics give him away? And it's victory to the girls as they got the closest. For the girls, it's a chance to send a message home, while the boys get scrubbing.
Thomas, you're going to polish my left boot. Safiso, my right boot. Kushal, you're going to polish Frankie's left boot. And Manya, Frankie's right boot.
I'm glad we won, to just shove it in their faces. They can clean boots, and then they can clean ours.
Their boots are like in a mess, so we needed to help them anyway.
Our prize is brew. I love it.
Put your back into it.
How does it feel, polishing boots?
Doesn't feel that great.
Next time on Safari 8, the Rookie Rangers leave the treehouse for good, replacing luxury for camping.
I'm not sleeping here and I don't like it, and I liked it where we were.
The team experiences an unforgettable sighting.
It was the most incredible experience ever.
And there's tension brewing in camp.
No, don't do that one yet. Let me finish this one.
Okay, sorry.
Oh!